Hey guys, Desloader Magic here, and remember Magic Legends, the cryptic, allegedly MMO, even though it's more of a multiplayer action game, it turns out? It was one of the few things that had the name Magic the Gathering in it and still had some community goodwill. They lost about half of it when they revealed that it's not in any way an MMO. A lot of people played Neverwinter, their other, Wizards of the Coast licensed game that's been out forever. I played it for like 2, 3, 4 years. That's what we all had in mind. Because it is the most vanilla, generic, stereotypical MMO ever. It's very safe, very kind of 5 out of 10 blah, kind of boring, but whatever, kind of fun. PvP was awesome. I was in the top 1%. And as far as anybody could tell on the forums, I was the #1 richest person in the game. I used something that they actually mentioned in this article that they posted today about Magic Legends to kind of screw with the game's economy a little bit until it all broke. So I have a very unique insight about why this sounds good, but it's probably going to be a disaster, potentially. This already looks like Gauntlet Legends meets Diablo, and I'm not into games like that. That's why I never got into like Minecraft Dungeons, plus the toxic 12-year-old fan base. You'll be lucky if I ever make a Magic video again after Cyberpunk comes out, if I can get that to launch on my second channel. But definitely when Magic Legends launches, I'm going to try that out. I fully assume I'm going to be reporting on how bad it is, though. So they had the balls to released an article on their own website today called Magic Legends and Monetization. You do not want to reveal that, okay? The best way to do it, if you know it's going to be a little bit controversial or kind of not okay, is just wait for the day it comes out. Like, even suppress it in the beta and just disable all of it. And then mix the, oh, look at this monetization with all the launch hype to kind of diffuse it, you know? Now they're just like, hey, we're bringing the game up again and talking about nothing but monetization. I hope this doesn't backfire and get a bad response. Nobody likes monetization, okay? It's a free game. We want it to be free. Even though it's unrealistic, that's what the people want. So you dance around the issue, avoid it, and try to suppress it. Not, hey, here's an article about it from Stefan Rakosa. So, bad idea. Anyway, they start off with, first thing first, Magic Legends will not be selling content updates or playable missions. Okay, I mean, that really worked pretty well actually doing that for the whole 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Remember, like, shareware, freeware, play the first 3 missions, and then if you like the game, buy it. It was like a free demo, you could check it out. The most recent game I can think of that does that, at least not on mobile, would be Dungeons & Dragons Online. I'm sure there's one more recent than that, but that game was fantastic. It was so low pressure. It was just like, hey, we made a new module. It's like 6 new missions. It's like $3. Take it or leave it. No timed exclusive, nothing. I think when it first came out, it was discounted 10 or 20%, so it was like you had an initial purchase bonus or whatever. But you could buy it 2 years later. It was just, oh, I want to run some new missions. It's, oh, that looks like it appeals to me, or it doesn't. Oh, that's low level, and I don't like it. Or, oh, it involves that thing and that lore. Oh, I like that story. I'm going to play it. I think the most expensive one they had was, it was like, took 20 hours to beat it, and it was like $12. So it was really fair, low pressure, and it made them money. It made them mad money because people stayed with the game because it was so fair and appropriate. And you look at all the art assets, the new sounds, the new creatures, the new attacks, the new animations, background textures, everything. You're like, yeah, I'll drop $5 on this. I mean, you got to pay the people who made this. It's pretty good. It was like a whole, expansion pack DLC every single time. That was an extremely fair, well-balanced game. So now they're saying, oh, we're not going to do that. I mean, even on mobile, the best freemium games I've ever seen are just straight up like I played a generic tower defense game where it's like once you get past the first 24 maps, they're like, if you want to buy the next 24, which is the entire rest of the game, give us like $2.99. It's like, okay, you let me play half the game for free. Want to let me finish the game if I like it and think it's worth it? $3? Yeah, all right. So those are usually pretty well received by people. So for them to say that they're not doing that, but here's their take on it. Our goal is for the entire game to be playable and fun from the beginning through end game and beyond without having to spend a dime, period. If you're dumb enough to think that their goal in designing this game is to make as little money as possible, then you're a crazy person. I mean, it is cryptic, they keep it real, but it's also Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. They do not. So they say, don't worry, it's all good because you'll be able to earn everything for free with this wonderful feature. And it is a wonderful feature, but I'm going to remind you guys why it's not. Let's put it that way. So they say, we'll be offering a variety of items for purchase that will give players alternative options when building their decks or loadouts. So in other words, paywalled, premium-only attacks, spells, and characters and classes. So you really are selling content updates because I'd consider spells and characters to be content. It's some of the only content in a boring Diablo clone. So the key here is they say building decks or loadouts, but not give them a numeric power advantage. I don't believe that. Like on Neverwinter, I think you could unlock the Warlock class, and it wasn't necessarily like debatably better than any other class, but it was so unique it fit a certain thing. If you wanted to play PvP a certain particular way in strategy, that was the best way to do it. And in my opinion, I think the Warlocks were a little tiny bit more powerful than some of the original classes. But it was close enough that it was take it or leave it. I'd prefer to just let me play whatever the hell I want, but whatever. That wouldn't make money, and they're trying to make money. Don't get it twisted. That's what they're doing. So, building on that philosophy, we'll be offering an in-game currency exchange, just like Cryptic's other free-to-play titles, Neverwinter and Star Trek Online. Like I said, I played Neverwinter for like 4 years. You will be able to exchange a specific currency earned through play, in this case Aether, that's just like the gold or whatever that you basically use to buy, stuff everywhere at vendors and blah, whatever. And then there's the premium currency, so they say you'll be able to earn Aether, and then use it to buy the premium currency, or they say exchange it with other players for actual cash store currency at a conversion rate that is completely community driven. And they aren't kidding. It is a buy and sell currency exchange. It fluctuates based on demand, and when they do certain updates, it swings one way or the other. That's how Neverwinter works. So when I started, I think it was like 220... I don't say gold or platinum. I feel like I should remember what currency it was, considering I was the richest freaking player in the game. But yeah, you put in your order, put a high enough bid, and it would get filled right away. And there you go. You get, I want to say Astral Diamonds. I think that was the premium currency. So that worked until it didn't. At a certain point, it hit the maximum price ceiling of 500. So what do you do then? Well, you just fill the orders in the order that they were put in. So I started to have to wait an hour, then 2 days, then 4 days, then a week. Then they just started expiring. And around then I stopped playing the game as much because I needed the premium currency, because I would open what they considered to be loot boxes. Whenever I found that an old loot box that I stockpiled at the time, I bought the max amount of bank spots you could possibly get and just stuffed them. Whenever you open them and would get at least a 10% profit return because the items were so rare and the demand had gone up because those boxes hadn't been opened in a year or two. So rare items, artifacts, cosmetics, mounts, top tier fastest mounts and stuff. If I knew that the odds were 1 in 500 of opening them, and it was, 100 AD for a key, I think 80 if you bought it cheaper, I'd say, oh, okay, I can get it for 500 a piece. Okay, it'll cost me this much. I have, 100 million gold or platinum or whatever sitting here. Cool, if I open them all and sell everything, I should make, 10, 20, 30% profit. Cool, then I would do it. And the variance would just die because I'd open like 3,000 loot boxes, so I knew I was getting like exactly 12 mythics or whatever, plus or minus 1 from variance, and I'd sell them, and then I'd end up with a profit. And no joke, in one day, I would use like $1,000 to $2,000 US worth of premium currency without paying for any of it. I would just buy it on the exchange. Well, it got to a point in game where, you could buy certain things like equipment and gear only with gold, and then you could buy certain cosmetics, character slots, other stuff, all the cool stuff, bank spots, whatever, and funny outfits with the premium currency. And people started not needing the equipment as much because a lot of people had maxed out their equipment. And they fixed it for a little bit, I think, when they brought out the artifact system, because people could pay for upgrades in the store. But I think not right away. I mean, it's been a while since I played that. But a lot of people quit the game when just, you had more orders going in than premium currency going out. Because the theory is people would buy premium currency and then buy premium currency things with it. Or they would just say, I actually need gold. I'm basically just going to buy gold or platinum, whatever the hell it was. And I'm just going to buy $20 worth of, AD, throw it up on the auction for 500 a piece, sell it instantly, boom. Oh, look, I've got a couple million platinum. Let's go gear shopping, But when less people started doing that because the game got too expensive or because, the exchange rate was too bad and it was just one-sided, I started to put in orders and 7 days later they weren't filled. I could not get AD anymore without paying US dollars. And obviously I was not willing to do that. So the game pretty quickly fell apart. I checked up on it later because my friend Eric, I think, even still plays it to this day. I gave him like most of my property, so he's probably the richest person in the game now. Actually, hey, when I quit RuneScape, I just straight up gave my friend 100 million gold. That's 1 to 2,000 US on the open market. I like manipulating markets and making money, okay? I'm like the Rudy from Alpha Investments of MMOs. I come in and I'm like, I identify some little 3, 5, 10% thing and I do it, and half the time I won't even go into combat for a week. I'll just sit there buying and selling at opportune times and manipulating markets and get rich. I actually did that in Silk Road Online too. I had like $250 million. So if this game is structured the same way, I might jump on it and do it just to do it because it's funny, and then mostly just probably give away a bunch of the premium currency on live stream or something. But just keep in mind this community-driven thing where it's like, oh, I'll be able to just grind or get a lucky thing or sell some of my equipment and then buy the premium currency for in-game currency, never have to spend a penny. Cool. Not if it maxes out and there's not enough people selling it. So what I would do is take the most wanted thing, like the little loot boxes where you get the deck, where you get the spells that are the abilities, and make them in-game Aether only, and then everything but that make it the premium currency. Because then you know what people really want, and if they want to kind of fast forward, they'll just buy the premium currency, toss it on the market, pocket, a ton of Aether, and then, buy a whole buttload of loot boxes. It's counterintuitive, but that's the only way to balance it, because then that group buying to sell will always be bigger. If it isn't, if it shifts even 1% in the opposite direction, boom, all of a sudden no orders are getting filled. And then people say, oh, I thought you said that we could buy the premium currency with in-game currency. Well, no, not if nobody's selling it. So that is the absolute proven historical truth on that system. It sounds great until it breaks and stops working. AKA tips over, I believe would be the investment term. So they go on to say, booster packs have been a staple of the Magic the Gathering card game for over 26 years as a way to build a library of cards that allow players to construct different decks for different situations. So they're trying to oh, this is how the game works. You guys should be used to this at this point. They're trying to softly legitimize what they're doing with that first sentence in this next paragraph. Yeah, you know we're in for a treat when they start it that way. Magic Legends will also be offering booster packs as a way to collect spells and collect shards of spells in order to expand and level your spell library. You want better, more powerful attacks? Open loot boxes. It's really that simple. If you choose to purchase these booster packs, there are several other types of items you have a chance to unlock in addition to spells. Oh, it's my choice, so I can choose between opening them or being a weak person who can't finish half the game. Cool. So these extra items range from unique artifacts to unique spells and even a unique class. Okay, so they threw everything into these boxes. Okay. I'm not going to call them booster packs. I'm going to call them boxes. They started putting cosmetics in them, and I'm sure they're by rarity. This is literally a loot box. These classes and items are not more powerful than the free classes, allegedly, or other items that exist in the game, but they are different horizontally. They provide a different set of play options, but don't give a power advantage. For example, the Geomancer and Mind Mage are equally powerful ways to experience the multiverse, but they offer different and unique gameplay experiences. I mean, they could be completely misrepresenting it and just exaggerating and lying, basically, or it could be as, horizontal as a reskinned Smash Brothers character, where it's really Captain Falcon, but, it's not, and then they tweaked it a little bit, but it's basically the same, if not weaker. So if I were to completely make up an example, what if the Geomancer is the only one that can give yourself defense, so that if you want to be kind of a tank or be like a suicide blitz runner that just goes and, gets crowds going and then AoEs them? If that's the only class that could do that and that's how you want to play, that's going to seem a lot more powerful to you. Just saying. And I think that if you went, class versus class, one of them is going to be able to clear a mission faster than the rest. That's just how it works. So I don't buy that it'll be flawlessly horizontal, but I mean, in Neverwinter it kind of was. I think they brought out the Paladin class, and it was halfway between a healer and a fighter, and it wasn't really better than either. You could just kind of do both, which you didn't used to be able to do. So it was truly just a different but equal way to play the game until it came to PvP. Then the difference was a little bit more obvious. Same with Warlocks. So they go on to say classes are a large part of your progression in Magic Legends, and having a variety of playstyles at your disposal makes deck building, artifact collecting, and loadout creation all the more interesting. Oh yeah, especially if you can open a booster pack on one character and say, oh, that's a fire spell, I'm not a pyromancer, and then give it to your pyromancer. Kind of sounds like that's where they were going with that. So in addition to the classes that are included in the game for free, we'll be selling themed Planeswalker classes that give you more class options to choose from when constructing your loadouts. These classes will have their own progression trees, traits, spark powers, abilities, and unique costumes that can be worn on its own or mixed with the costume parts from other classes to customize the look of your Planeswalker. So just Chandra wearing Jace's robe, that'll be weird. I am going to build a goth Jace as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to get him in all black because he's a sad emo boy in the Ixalan storyline. Plus M14 Jace. I mean, let's not forget M14 Jace. Go look up the artwork for that if you haven't seen it. You will be shocked. So they say, as before, these classes are not more powerful than the free classes that exist in the game, but are different from the free classes horizontally. They will have their own set of play options without giving a numerical advantage. While we have a variety of progression systems in Magic Legends, we'll also be adding a Battle Pass system. Oh, goody. For added progression and even more rewards. We will have a completely free track that features currency packs, costume options, unique spells, and artifacts that reward the player for engaging in the system regularly. We will also offer a paid track that comes with everything mentioned before, but also includes unique cosmetics, more bonus currency, so just straight up giving out currency, and more unique loadout customization options. So it sounds pretty cosmetic heavy, like I like the game, let's support it, and I like shiny things, ooh, this is a good deal, compared to buying them individually. So it might not be toxic and it might be terrible, you never know. The fact that they're just giving out currency is a big red flag. The Battle Pass seasons will provide plenty of time to collect all the great rewards while giving you interesting challenges to complete while you progress. So in other words, it's timed. Whenever they say we'll give you enough time, it means you better play this 75% of the days or you're going to miss out on the thing you just bought, which I hate. I hate any high pressure anything, really, in any video game. I'm going to play the game whenever the hell I want. I'm going to stop playing it for months at a time whenever the hell I want, and I don't want to be penalized for that. I mean, look at Skyrim. Why is it so popular? Because Bethesda doesn't give a crap when you play. Battle passes are so annoying, okay? I tend to play a game and stick with it for a long time, but even within a day, I tend to switch between 2 or 3 games. So if I'm like, oh, I haven't hit today's goal. Oh, I only have 2 weeks or 3 weeks left to finish this, so I guess I better play it whether I want to or not. You've already just about lost me, okay? I am so done with that version of monetization in any game. That is just a major turnoff. And the best thing is this game looks like a super generic, boring, repetitive, like not fun to play long-term type of thing. Very story light, very action heavy, very like a dumb 10-year-old could play it. It really looks like Minecraft Dungeons, where it is the most just generic blah whatever. Compare that to like The Witcher 3, where it's like amazing surprises, great gameplay, good lore, crazy like storylines and personalities to meet and characters and missions. And this looks like a glorified arcade game. Like I said, I believe I compared it to Gauntlet Legends before. So I could be wrong, but I've seen a lot of footage of this being played early on. So this does not look like it merits being the #1 game you play because it's so fun and enjoyable and awesome. Then again, I'd say that about League of Legends, repetitive, boring, stupid, and my god, will I never play a game where I have to rely on my teammates that much when I don't know them. But that somehow generated daily players that play 6 hour a day. I don't know how. Then again, I can almost say that about StarCraft 2. It's very repetitive as well. A little bit dynamic, but still at the end of the day, it's kind of repetitive. So who knows who this will appeal to, but this is all coming together to look really bad. But wait, there's more. If you really, really, really want them to tell you when you're going to play this game, we will run events that feature free content and unique rewards regularly. Event rewards will range from new spells and artifacts to new playable classes and more. All these items can be earned for free by participating. And, this is the one that set people off. You can earn them for free by participating, or players can choose to purchase an event buyout, which immediately provides them with the event rewards. There's like 7 things wrong with that. Let's jump into it. 1, so not only is it a timed exclusive, like some little weekend 3-day event or 1-week event where you better not be on vacation or you miss it or whatever, but it sounds like that's the only time you can buy that character class or whatever artifact at all, even with the premium currency for like a skip thing. So even if you said, I want to buy the Geomancer, you got to wait for the Geomancer event because that's the only time you can buy it. That's what it sounds like. Otherwise, why would you buy the skip? Also, how boring and grindy and horrible would this event be that people feel motivated to not participate in it, like literally pay to not participate in it? It sounds like it'll be like, ooh, it's the Goblin Weekend. Go kill 1,000 goblins. And like, you don't want to do that? Money, hand it over. Hand it over, peasant, if you don't want to grind for it for 6 hours. Yay, event. And honestly, the Neverwinter events, like the Rizia Ice Games, were like, oh no, that was DDO. What the hell did they do? That weird fall festival thing, that was Neverwinter. And you get like the jack-o'-lanterns that you can throw and change people's heads. Oh yeah. That was honestly like a really fun event because, and get this, that game was actually an MMO. This, run around, blow stuff up, run around, blow stuff up, run around, blow stuff up, the end. What are you going to do for a special event other than, hey, go run around and blow stuff up in a slightly more structured way? You won't be running around talking to people at a festival and doing like I think they did like bobsled races or something. I still think I'm mixing up both of those games. Well, in fact, they added an ice jump over the harbor in the main city in DDO. And one of my first videos to break, I think, 50,000 was me nailing it blind backwards. I went down the jump backwards and nailed it. Let's just say it took a while to do that. I landed it blind and people would take 1,000 tries and not be able to land it while looking. Hell, that video is probably still on my channel. Go check it out. It was awesome. But yeah, it had nothing to do with running a quest or killing creatures. It was just like, hey, we added in this crazy new physics thing. Go try and do this and get coins or whatever. It was really cool. They added in special custom vendors and stuff. It was wild. So maybe they could do it up big, but this is such a simpler game with such simpler gameplay that they're almost then in that paragraph saying the events will be incredibly boring. You could not have killed my interest level in this game any more. Holy crap, these people are stupid. Hire a marketing and PR expert. And then while you're at it, go back and design a better game. How about that? So it keeps getting worse. Lastly, we'll be offering a variety of convenience items at launch and over time, such as loadout slots. That's right, literally more slots for more abilities. I'm sure that won't give you a power advantage in any way, being able to use 5 spells instead of 3. Deck slots, so you're going to hit a cap on the amount of decks you can have. XP boosts, so that people can pay to outlevel you, and I think they said it'll have PvP. Wow. And other items that assist with leveling throughout the game. I mean, the game looks so boring that I'd want to accelerate through it at the fastest rate possible, but now they're basically confirming my suspicion. None of these are required, but they do allow you faster progress if you would prefer to level up more quickly or catch up to friends that are ahead of you. So you better start on day 1 when they give you some, convenience items at launch. And then if you invite your friends to play a month or 2 later, they're going to have to pay to catch up to you. Wonderful. And remember, you get into parties together and run certain missions of different difficulties. So if they can't come with you, they can't come with you. It's almost like it's set up to be a scam. A pay for progress rat race where you got to keep up with your friends or else. Like, what if they play 10 hours a week and you play 5? Well, then you can't play together until you max out your level, I assume. What if you're the healer class and they want you to have, 6 slots, but you only have 4, and, well, you can't really heal them as well with, 4 slots, so they start pressuring you to get to the 6th one, because then you can have 2 really crappy heals and then, 2 really good ones. Yeah, this whole thing is just one giant manipulative money trap from what I've seen, and, like I said, I'll play it to review it, but how long I stick around is going to be a different story. This better be an amazing game if they want me to play it past, a month. And I love how they're like, none of these are required. Yes, the game's exe file will technically launch without making these purchases. Past that, you might want to make some purchases. They cannot tell me, oh, it's really cosmetics and there'll be a battle pass, but with the free option, it's all horizontal. None of them are more powerful. And then tell me they're going to sell me spell slots where I can use more abilities. Okay, that is more powerful, period. Now, more decks, more options, say you can have more unique build options. Okay, what if you need an exact build, there's 7 different types of missions you could run and you only have 6 deck slots and you really need a different configuration for the 7th one, so you have to rebuild it manually or something, or you just can't run that one as efficiently. There are so many ways they can trap you with this. It just looks absolutely terrible. So finally, they end it with thanks for taking a moment to check out this high-level view of how monetization will work in Magic Legends. We have so many incredible play experiences and stories that we can't wait to share with you. Well, you shouldn't have shared this one, so you're really off to the races. Can't wait to see what the next one says. I'll see you in the multiverse, Stefan Rakasa. Well, Stefan's fired. If he actually planned and wrote this, this is the most poorly received announcement I've seen about the game since it was announced. People are absolutely blowing this up online. I think it sounds like crap, so I wouldn't get too excited or too invested in the idea of this coming out and being fun. I think it will fall absolutely flat on its face. And I'll be here covering it burning to the ground. So I guess subscribe to see footage when it comes out, especially if they allow me to stream beta stuff and let me in. I signed up with a bullshit name, a different username, a different email, a burner email. They aren't going to know it's me, so they're going to let me in if they let everybody in. But hopefully I get banned from it on day 1 so I don't have to play this garbage. But I wish I had better news, but I don't. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.